Menstruation is an essential and normal part of human life, certainly of human existence. Menstrual hygiene is fundamental to the dignity and well-being of a woman. It is an important part of basic hygiene, sanitation, and reproductive health service to which every girl or a woman has the right. Most of these women and girls will menstruate each month for between 2 and 7 days. This impacts hard on the family resources to many communities in the developing world.
Really, even in talking to these girls, to these learners, they would tell me really they were absenting themselves sometimes 3 days every month because they did not have 3,500 shillings to go and buy a pad.
The topic of menstruation, however, is often taboo and has many negative cultural attitudes associated with it. Many societies regard menstruating women and girls as dirty and impure.
In the African culture, we may realize that issues related to menstrual cycle is not handled openly. It is done privately and secretly.
The social stigmatization, the social not accepting that this is a natural process, this is part of growing up, the body's maturation, and feeling stigmatized, feeling rejected, feeling dirty.
Girls often lack services and facilities to help them cope with physical and psychological pains they go through during their menstrual periods.
In the past years, some teachers even they couldn't take it serious that children can, or all girls can get such problems with menstrual hygiene.
They are also facing problems of washing rooms for the girls and changing room.
Menstruation is the leading cause of girls above 10 years, absenteeism, or even dropping out of school in many communities, poor performance in some subjects, and quite often leads to early pregnancies.
Yeah, those scenarios, you find that in the camp, some of the parents, the ratio is not enough, even they cannot afford to get money for buying these pads.
The girls experience such problems like inadequate awareness and preparations before experiencing menstruation, inadequate water facilities to clean up during menstrual hygiene management, lack of materials for managing menstrual hygiene, no private space and washrooms, and inappropriate facilities for disposal of materials for those who have used pads. Adolescent girls and refugee settlement are in more desperate situation.
Refugees, they don't have materials to use. Some they have been using leaves, old blankets from their parents.
Save the Children in Uganda is a lead partner under the Education Cannot Wait project. They are working with selected schools in Palirino Refugee Settlement in Moyo District and Ramanja settlements in Kamwenge to address better education environment for girls. Here they are working to improve the education environment of these communities.
Puberty, learning about the menstrual cycle, learning about infrastructure, learning about life skills, the skills which can make you to have a good self-esteem for yourself.
And we are very grateful that LHU has given us the support in as far as menstrual hygiene management is concerned. They've given us the training of how to prepare the sanitary pads.
In partnership with Education Local Expertise Center Uganda, ELECU, Save the Children Uganda is training refugee communities and primary school children on ways of managing menstrual hygiene and reproductive health education.
So when this madam of ELECU program, she came the other time and she gave us that knowledge of how to make these reusable parts. She taught us. Then behind here also we organize the girls. We also teach them how to make it. So at this time, most of the cases now it is minimized.
Girls and boys are trained in making reusable sanitary pads and menstrual hygiene management. Many have picked up the practical experience.
I have come to learn how to make reusable pads because it can help us if our friends get problem. They can help them to prevent blood from passing through their skirts.
With this, I can't even miss classes and schools because without it, I cannot come to school.
This training helped me also to teach some of my neighbors and friends. It also helped me sometimes if my parents have no money, I will even provide it for myself.
The learners are introduced to different materials used in making of the reusable sanitary pad, cotton cloth, towel material, scissors, needles and threads, and different absorbents.
At first, we have a piece of cotton cloth. We cut it. Then inside we put small cavera. Then outside this cloth. Then we knead it. Then on top we put this button with a small hole so that we can put it ready.
To many, this is an opportunity of training others at home, while others think it can be a source of livelihood, especially in the communities where they live, who cannot afford buying the conventional disposable sanitary pads.
I have learned to make a reusable pad, so it is necessary because I'm going to form a group of youth which will always make the pads and sell them.
I'm going to teach my followers, those ones who are in the village, and my sisters. There is those ones who are not yet to go in the school, I teach them.
A total 7 primary schools in Palarino Refugee Settlement in Moyo District and 4 schools in Ramanja Refugee Settlement.
This is now the pad which is already shown. Have you seen this one? Now these cuttings which are done are this.
It is very useful for a teacher, not only a teacher to learn, but it is too useful for a teacher in a sense that learners are here. Of course, much of the time you are spending with these learners. Some of them do not know at what time their menstrual sort of things start.
With the inclusion of teachers, school management board and PTA, this seems to have great sustainability. The program also targets at creating an enabling environment in all these schools for the girls to manage their menstruation.
That is our changing room. When the girl gets her menstruation period abruptly, she goes to that room and cleans herself. After removing the pads, she takes the pads to the incinerator.
I think we appreciate these partners to bring this program to this school. When they come, then just we mobilize the children and the community to come to the school here. Then they practice.
So I looked at it as more important because they will reduce again the rate of girls dropping down because of these periods when they come unexpectedly.
We have made reusable pads.
Some schools, with the help of partners like Save the Children, built latrine facility for girls with provision for washing and changing room, while others are planning to set up. In many of these refuge settings, these girls come from a very humble background, unaccompanied and in despair. They are worried of affordability of getting these materials for making reusable sanitary pads. In Mahani Primary School, the school administration gave a quick response to the learners. After the training of staff by Eleku, they responded by buying materials and made their own pads.
First, we are not making them, but after the training, we first made a meeting with the whole staff. Then from there, we involved both boys and girls to make those reusable pads.
In most of these schools, they have instituted a senior woman teacher and the People's Committee to handle cases of menstrual period management. The pupils have a washroom and changing room and are now comfortable to stay in school even when they are in their periods.
Appreciating Save the Children for coming up with such an initiative in collaboration with the ECW. We are really thankful to them and we hope our children are going to gain more.
Henry Achai is the project manager of the Education Cannot Wait program. He is impressed that the children have adopted the skills.
It's excellent. If children themselves can get involved and can participate and understand the use of this material to this extent, it gives a positive impression to all the children and to the girls to see that they can maximize whatever available material of this nature.
The sustainability of the girl-child education is entirely dependent on leveling the ground for her to access meaningful education, putting up an enabling environment for menstrual hygiene management, especially under such vulnerable situations, is a concerted effort by all players in government, humanitarian development actors, communities, school institutions, and the learners themselves.